it's Clarice here, and I am back with my first curly hair routine. This is the routine that I do on dry hair that has just been sitting on my head for a couple of days, and this routine literally produces the most beautiful curls, so let's just get straight into it. So the first thing that I do is I separate my hair right down the middle, as I'm doing now. And I'm just going to part it all the way. So you guys can see me parting it all the way down. And I don't do anything like a perfect line. I just do it with my fingers. Really simple. I'm going to do one side at a time. So I'm just going to take one side, roll it up, put it in a little ball. And yeah, I hate when that happens, when the hair gets stuck. I try to rip it, but then I feel like it's going to rip the rubber band. But yeah. The rubber bands that I use are those kind of like rubbery ones that I find them only at Winco. That's the only place that I can find them. So now that I've parted my hair down the middle, I'm going to now take sections that I'm going to focus on at a time, and I start with the back section first. And I don't make any perfect lines or anything. I just grab some hair that's in that area and then start with that. Okay, so now I'm going to get my comb and I'm going to start detangling. Now, on some parts of my hair, I may or may not use the comb. Sometimes I do, sometimes I just use my fingers, but yeah. When I comb out my hair, I start with the ends first, but I normally like using smaller sections, so I'm going to get a smaller section of hair. So now I'm going to kind of just detangle all of it together with my fingers. My hair really isn't that bad. So I can kind of just use my fingers to kind of detangle it overall. Now I'm going to apply my product. I'm using Cantu's Shea Butter Leave-In Conditioner Repair Cream, and let me tell you, this is the holy grail of my entire life. I'm only using that product along with Organix Argan Oil of Morocco oil, and that's it. So here's the most important part. Now I'm just going to grab my conditioner and I'm just going to start applying it to my hair. Now the trick to applying the conditioner to my hair is making sure that my hair is completely saturated, but the part that is the most important and the most vital is the root of my hair. For me personally, my roots, because I guess it's new growth, they are really like, I don't know, just want to do their own thing and like poofy. So I just have to make sure that my roots are laid to the gods, just like my baby hairs or whatever. My roots have to be laid. So I put an extra TLC right on that. So I have to make sure that that is as flat as possible, because that's what's going to give me the length that I need, and that's what's going to allow my hair to last for a longer period of time. Also, my ends are the same exact thing. I have to apply a lot of TLC and make sure each individual strand is nice and smooth. So I'm going to get my brush and I'm going to comb out all of the little like kinkies and make sure that it's nice and smooth and the curls are popping, okay? Make sure they are popping and smooth it out. So that's pretty much what I do on every single section of hair on my head. I apply the conditioner to the root and then I drag it down and I just smooth it out. Make sure each individual strand is super duper smooth. And then I keep applying conditioner to my root until I could tell and feel that it is nice and flat and moisturized. Now the second secret that I'm going to let you in on is, see this section? I'm going to have to separate this section again so that way I can apply conditioner to the roots in between, because that is what's going to try to trick you, and then it's going to shrink up and then it's going to allow your hair to be shorter. So I have to flatten out the roots and separate the big sections of hair and make sure that the root on the top and the bottom of that section of hair are laid down. So now I'm just going to repeat this same exact process on every single piece of hair on my head. So here comes a fast forward until the next step. So once I have a large section of my hair completed and covered with the conditioner and combed out, I'm going to go ahead and apply my oil, 1 or 2 drops in my hands, and then I'm just going to smooth it out over the whole section. And then I'm gonna really pay a lot of attention to my ends and make sure that they are fully saturated with the oil, but I smooth it out so that way they remain curled and not like poofy or anything like that. So I just make sure everything is really smoothed out, and I use the oil to do that. This oil is pretty thick, which is what I like because my hair needs things that are thick to stay moisturized. Now this part is really important. When it comes to getting rid of that split in the back of my head, I make sure that when I section off hair in the back of my head that I section off a section right in the middle. So I section it off in thirds. One on the right, one in the middle, which I'm doing now, and then one on the left. Because if I don't, and then later on I try to connect the two parts of my head together, I'll have my hair will dry up with a little booty crack in the middle of it. So I make sure that I create a third section that has the roots laid down with a part right in the middle, so that way I'm not walking around with a booty crack in the back of my head. Now, one of my beauty hacks to have elongated curls is after I finish the same process on both sides of my head, I then take all of the hair that is in the back of my head, and I take all of that hair after I've oiled it and everything, and I put it into one nice big braid, and I try to get the braid as long as it possibly can, and this is going to ensure that that split that I made in the middle of my head earlier is completely gone, A, and B, that it will elongate my curls because I do not diffuse my hair or use blow dryer or heat or anything. I air dry. So keeping my hair in this braid as I continue the rest of the hair on the top of my head is going to stretch my hair and ensure that I don't have that booty crack. Now that split that I made earlier, I'm going to make the middle part that's going to be in the top of my head a little bit shorter, because if I keep it long, it's going to create this weird flat looking thing. It's just not going to look flattering. So I'm going to take a little bit more hair off, and then I'm going to comb away that middle part so that way the split doesn't run all the way down the top of my head. So now I'm just going to comb it out and make sure that that split kind of just disappears, and then I'm going to apply the same method, which is to just apply the conditioner, apply a lot of conditioner to the root and to the ends, smooth it out, and then apply the oil to seal it. Now I'm just going to continue the same exact process that I've been doing on all the other parts of my head for the remainder of the hair that I have left at the top of my head. The only thing is the hair that I have on the top of my head, the sections that I'm working on, are the driest parts of my hair. So I just have to make sure that I'm using a generous amount of conditioner in these areas. And also, I don't know if there's a technical term for the process that I do, but I kind of smooth, as I'm smoothing out my hair with my hands, I kind of smooth out strands of hair and kind of basically like create a curl for my hair by smoothing it out, kind of how I just did. And that kind of helps in eliminating frizz, because you're kind of like, you're smoothing out the frizz and you're creating a curl for your curls. So you're like, you know, doing the work for your curl. And then I'm just going to continue and then seal it with some oil, and we'll continue the same exact process on the other side of my hair. Now that all of my hair is pretty much finished and combed out and everything, I'm just going to go back in with the oil and really just saturate it and kind of seal it, so that way it's really kind of just like creating this moisturized layer, because my hair is super dry. And yeah, so this oil is super thick and it smells so good. My hair really loves it. Yeah, so I just kind of just put that all over. Now enjoy the fruits of all of that labor. This is after just about 1 hour or 1 or 2 hours of doing my makeup and getting ready. My curls are beautiful and voluptuous and just moisturized. There is no frizz. Now don't forget to take out that braid that's in the back. I leave that braid out as long as I'm kind of drying it. Now I'm just going to take it out because keeping that braid in as long as possible, even longer if you can, is the best, because that's going to give you the elongated hair in the back, because my hair in the back tends to shrink up. So that's what I do to keep it long. And yeah, this is a finished look. Now enjoy some fashion slow-mos.